Now, this next speaker has been behind the camera making sure that everyone caught the essence of this fantastic conference. So we definitely want to give him a round of applause for that. Michael Brown Sr. is our final speaker for the afternoon. He's going to be talking about creating a compelling story through a video. Also very, very important. Michael Brown Sr. is the owner of Seymour Mac Productions, a video production company in Effort, PA, dedicated to helping businesses build trust and brand awareness through storytelling. We've heard some really powerful stories. You all have a powerful story. Video plays a crucial role in today's marketing landscape, extending beyond traditional TV commercials to include social media and content creation. Michael's entrepreneurial journey combines circumstance and fate, showcasing his leap of faith into entrepreneurship. Discover the story behind Seymour Mac and how it can elevate your brand. Welcome to the stage, Michael Brown Sr. Where's his music? He needs the music.
No, we don't need no music. Let's get some volume on that, Jerry. We're going to start with a little video first. We've been here all day. Let's watch some. Give it up for Jerry on the laptop. And if you didn't know, Jerry's my brother. You can go to the next slide, Jerry. All right, so I am Michael Brown Sr. I earned the senior, owner of Seymour Mac Productions. Seymour Mac is my grandfather. He was a chiropractor for 67 years. He took patients up until he was about 93. And then when he stopped working, he died, right? He always said, when I stop, that's it, it's over. And that's exactly what happened. But he instilled a lot of really great attributes into me and my siblings and my family. And naming my business after him is my way to pay a little tribute to him. And you could see in the picture that was there before, I had a really big beard. I had a beard for like 20 plus years. I literally just decided to shave it one day for no reason. And yeah, look at that guy. Happy, but homeless. Looking very homeless. All right, you can go back. All right. Okay, go to the next slide. We're gonna just stick here for a while. You could pause this for a second, please. Okay. So first I wanna tell a little story about how I even got to where I am. I am gonna talk about telling a compelling story through video in the context of for your business, but we need to know how I even got here in the first place. I was in the pharmaceutical industry for 13 years. And I got terminated because I didn't want to take the COVID shot, and I got kicked out the door at the same time they were hiring unvaccinated contractors. They were firing a bunch of, unvaccinated employees, and I just happened to fall into that bucket. To each their own, everybody makes their own decisions. That was the decision I made, but it was the catalyst for change in my life. It spiraled me down into a lot of uncertainty, a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, a lot of questions that arose. If you were at the event, Charisma's last event that I gave like a 45-minute speech on, you heard the story before. We're not going to go through the whole thing, but just to say that life throws us curveballs. Life gives us, some obstacles, and it's up to us to take those circumstances and use them to create a powerful change. And sometimes you could take those things and play victim with them, or you could take them and use them to become a hero in your own story. The beautiful lady right here is a good friend of mine, Rebecca Doyle. She was married to my best friend, Jonathan Mercado, and they have 3 sons. A few years ago, he passed away from lung disease. He was about 41 years old, I want to say, and he left behind the family. He was an electrician in the union. He loved doing what he did. He was a very physical guy, and he got sick on the job while he was actually renovating Webster's Hall. If you're from New York, then you know Webster Hall. He was an electrician there, and that's where he actually wound up getting sick from. I'm going to try to not stand in the lettering here. So his story was powerful for me to see and for Rebecca to see. When he got sick, he could no longer do his job. So he had to reinvent himself. And two of his sons were playing lacrosse. And he thought, well, I can't barely walk anymore, so I can't do anything physical. So how am I going to provide for my family? He was never the kind of guy that would just give up. It really demoralized him when he wasn't able to provide for the family in the way that he always did. So he reinvented himself. After watching his kids really enjoy playing lacrosse, he found a new passion. He was customizing lacrosse heads and sticks, and he was able to do that in partnership with his sons who were playing the sport. So it was a really great opportunity for him to bond with them. But it also helped him provide for his family. Before he passed away, he was about to open up a physical location. He had just started his business. It was really taking off. They were living in Easton. Now she's in Emmaus. And he found a really great opportunity, and it really started going really well for him. Had a great opportunity to do some video work for him before he passed away, which was awesome. So a few years ago, like I said, he passes away. Rebecca now is left with 3 kids. He was always the breadwinner. What is she going to do? She has to feed the family. She's got to keep the lights on. So and we're going to play this video here in a second, and I'll let her tell her story. But this is an example of how we could create a compelling story with videos. We did a series of videos for Rebecca's new business, Cafe 23. And we basically did what we call the branding starter kit. It was a series of photos and video assets. This is one of them. In this video, she's going to talk about her story and how she even was inspired to start her business and kind of her journey. And we're going to play this, or you could play this, and then I'll talk a little bit more after it's done.
In 2018, my husband became ill shortly after the birth of our 3rd son, and he became disabled and was unable to continue in the profession that he had mastered his entire adult life. I feel like he was lost in a way after that. He lost his identity when he lost his career. I think he still held on hope that he could continue to be this provider for our family and also find a new identity in a way. So he fell in love with the sport lacrosse when our kids were playing and decided that he could customize lacrosse heads. So he started a company. It was growing really fast. He was connected to all the major high schools in the Lehigh Valley, and he was at all the clinics with a line of kids asking for their lacrosse heads to be laced. It was doing really well. The weekend of his 41st birthday, he went into the hospital due to complications from his illness, and he fought for 6 weeks on life support to be here for me and my boys, but we lost him July 3rd. So watching him reinvent himself inspired me to step out in faith and pursue a dream that's been on my heart since I was 19 years old. And I really think we don't always feel qualified to chase after our dreams, but I don't believe that God calls the qualified. I believe he qualifies the called.
So, thank you. She told her story, and this video here got over 10,000 views in under 72 hours, which for me, I mean, has never happened. But she was able to reach a lot of new potential customers for her business. But what was more powerful than that was she touched the heart of so many people. She was getting messages and DMs on Instagram, and people were recognizing her in her area and stopping her at the grocery store and saying, "Hey, I saw your video, and I just want you to know how much it moved me. And I'm dealing with my own situation." You know, these were wives who lost their husband. These were parents who lost their children. These were people who were given a circumstance in life and didn't know what to do with it. And just by seeing and hearing her story, they were able to get inspired to do something greater, right? To not give up hope and to not just lose all faith. Rebecca is a really great example of how she is able to tell her story and connect with people in a deeper way than just saying, hey, I sell muffins and I sell coffee and, you know, this is that, right? Everybody's got a cafe on their block now. So I want to touch some of these key points when we talk about how do we build a compelling story, okay? So the first three things here kind of go hand in hand with each other: being honest, being vulnerable, and being yourself. So Chantel did a really great job about talking about being honest and being yourself, right? We could smell a liar a mile away. So here's what I would say. In the context of creating content for your business, especially video content, fight the urge to pretend like you are something other than what you actually are, okay? Just be yourself. Everybody has their own unique story. Everybody is their own unique person, but I can guarantee you that there is somebody out there who is going to see or hear your story, and it's going to resonate with them because they're dealing with stuff just like you are. So being honest is number one on the list there. You definitely just kind of want to give it how it is, fight the urge to lie, make yourself to be something other than you are. Goes along with be yourself, number 3 on the list there. A funny thing happens, and I see this all the time in my experience. Smaller businesses, myself included, I fall into this trap, try to present myself as a bigger business than I actually am. I say we a lot when it's really just me. And larger corporations, I was like, we do really great video, and I'll probably wind up doing it later. Larger corporations they're desperately trying to identify with the individual. So you'll see these multinational conglomerates talking about how, you know, we're just people just like you. And they're comprised of people just like us. And they're, you know, the people just like us are the ones that make those businesses succeed and move forward. But that's how the marketing always is. The larger companies want to try to be an individual. The small business individuals try to want to present themselves as something bigger. But just be yourself. Being vulnerable, just like Rebecca was able to do here, is really powerful. Now, it's scary because you don't want to let people into the darkness, right? You don't want to let people hear, you know, the things that make you tick, the things that keep you up at night, the things that make you cry when you lay your head on the pillow. But being vulnerable is a really powerful way to resonate and connect with people. Because again, as much as you feel like the world is crumbling all around you, I can guarantee you that there is somebody who feels just like you do. And if you're able to tell your story and resonate with them, you can give them some hope. You could build a bridge between you and them. And it can be a really powerful way for you to get your story out there. And if you're a business owner, to get your business out there and connect, again, on a very deep level. You want to identify what resonates. So for me, you can see in my demo reel, there was a lot of like blue collar workers, right? A lot of construction companies. We do videos for all sorts of businesses, but we really niched down and we narrowed into the construction industry as a whole, because there's a ton of opportunity. There's a ton of money to be made there. They have larger budgets typically, but also I feel like it is the overlooked, the blue collar worker is kind of like the overlooked worker that keeps this company and keeps the world running. And I found a very unique opportunity to help them tell their stories and connect and resonate with people who maybe want to work at their company or maybe want to hire them. And you might be a custom home builder, but you're not the only custom home builder in the area, right? So why should somebody choose you instead of somebody else? So much like Chantel said, it's why? What is your USP, your unique selling proposition? What is it that if we have the same pricing and it's just going to come down to choosing us off of a different key indicator, what is going to drive them towards me rather than my competitor? So you want to identify what resonates. In Rebecca's case here, she just told her story about losing her husband, watching him get sick, reinventing himself, and trying to figure out what the next chapter was going to be. And then ultimately, when she was forced to face her next chapter, she remembered what she watched Jonathan do, and she did the same thing for herself. She just told her story. That's all she did. It reached over 10,000 people very quickly. And she built a lot of friendships and some business opportunities on the way. Identify your avatar. Your avatar is just going to be your most, let's see, the client or the customer that you want to target, right? So for me, in my case, it is a large construction company. Those companies that are building hospitals and stadiums and they're doing 20, 30, $100 million a year, that is my ideal client. Now I work with everybody from a landscaper to a painter to smaller businesses that are maybe making only six figures. But my avatar, when I crafted who I was going to target my message towards, was towards that large company, right? So figure out who your avatar is, find out what resonates with them. And then finally, you're gonna sell yourself. You're not selling your product, right? If you sell soap, you could just go online and make content about, I sell soap, my soap, you can rub it on your body, it makes bubbles, it makes you smell like flowers, and you should buy my soap. But you got soap, I got soap, everybody's got soap. When you're making content specifically for social media especially, sell yourself, right? You are great. You are beautiful. You are fantastic. You are fun. Embrace who you are, even if you're a little weird and a little quirky. Embrace that. Embrace that. It's hard to see, but I know we got some weirdos out here. Over here to the right, yeah. Right here on stage. Just sell yourself and don't sell your product as much. I want to say is Gary Vee says jab, 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 hook, right? So what I always say is value. When I work with a client and we create content, we create value content. We don't chase trends, like those reels where you see like a car come swooping around, hit somebody, and the next thing you know is somebody laying on the floor selling you carpet. I don't do that kind of content. There's a place for that, and if it works, it works. I'm not saying don't do it. I just don't do that. I do value content. So if you are let's say a landscaper, how can we create content that provides value for somebody who may potentially want to hire you? The best way to start on this is to think from your client's perspective. What are the most frequently asked questions that you get asked on a regular basis? The most frequent 10, 20, 50 questions that people ask you, start there for your content creation journey, and then just start building that list out from there. If you think from the perspective of your client, you will start realizing you have a lot of value to give. And the more value you just give away without asking for anything, the more trust that you're going to build in those potential clients, right? Your viewers, ultimately, you want to convert into clientele, hopefully. And even if it's just one person, that could be a game changer for you. The next person that you meet could be the next great client, your next ideal client that could make you all the money that you want, but more importantly, you could provide them a really powerful service and you could change their life. You can go to the last slide here. If you want, you could just scan this humongous QR code and this will, I didn't realize how big this was gonna be. You might have to back up a little bit. This is just gonna bring you to my website and you'll be able to see some more of my work, some of the results specifically on the homepage that we've gotten for our clients, where they invested $5,000 and they turned it into over $100,000 with one video, or 5 into 50, or one video or series of videos into a bunch of great clientele for them. So that's what I try to do. Want to give a big shout out to Phil, who's working with me today. So when I say we, I mean me and Phil and everybody else who's working with me, helping us out. When we go out, what we try to do is get results. We don't want to just make a cool video and then you never talk to us again. We want to build long-term, meaningful relationships, and hopefully that's what we're going to do here. And that's all I got. So thank you for your time. Appreciate it.